Hey guys, welcome to another video for anatomy and physiology. In this video, we're taking a look at tissue terminology. So we're looking at the prefixes and suffixes that make up the words that you're learning. And the reason why I'm making this video, and I'll make more like it, are because these prefixes and suffixes you're going to see throughout the entire course of anatomy and physiology. There's an entire course, in fact, called medical terminology that goes through these prefixes, suffixes, the roots, the origins of the words. And I think when you kind of understand, when you get an understanding of the origin, the etymology of these words, it helps you to actually learn the words instead of just memorizing terms. So let's go ahead and dive in real quick. So again, we're looking at prefixes and suffixes as it pertains to Chapter 5, Tissue. So let's take a look at the first one, the first prefix, adip. And this is referring to, anytime that you see this prefix adip, it's referring to anything referring to fat. So adipose tissue, adipose is referring to fatty tissue, as you can see in the slide in the background. And I'll try to put relevant slides and pictures as we go along so you can kind of make the connection between the term prefix, suffix with the slides that we've been looking at. And then we have chondro. And a lot of these words, their origins are either Greek or Latin. Like, for example, chondro is a Greek origin, referring to cartilage. Okay, so chondrocyte. In fact, cyte you'll see later on as a suffix. This is a cell that makes cartilage, chondro. And you'll see again these terms in many places as we go along. And then you have epi. Epi, again, another Greek word meaning above. So epithelial, and then thelio is a term for tissue. Epi meaning above, so tissue that is above the top layer of tissue, if you will. That's epi is upon. Think of words like epidermis, the layer of skin that is above. Epitome, something that is the epitome of something, the highest level of something, or epic, right? And then next we have inter, which means between. Okay, so think of the words like international, interchange, something that is in between or amongst. So we have interslated discs, okay, which are the discs that are in between, inside of the cells of the cardiac tissue. And then we have macro. Macro, another Greek, referring to anything that is large. Okay, so we have large phagocytic cells here, and these are just large cells that phagocytize something, they destroy something, they consume it. Okay, so in other places you'll see this word, macroscopic, for example, okay, macrophage. And then we have os, or osteo. You'll see this word a lot, anything referring to bone. So os is anything osseous tissue, anything referring to bone tissue. Other words that you'll see this in is osteogenesis, osteoporosis, perhaps, osteoarthritis. And then we have pseud, okay, which refers to anything that is false, okay, like a pseudonym, meaning a false name, a fake name. So pseudocolumnar, meaning fake columnar, the appearance of and not actually being that thing. And then we have squam. Squam referring to, think of scales, okay, so when you think of the multi-layered, and then you have the top layer, the epilayer, that's scale, that's keratinous, so scale, squamous epithelium. And then we have strat. This is a Latin-based word, strat meaning layer, stratified epithelium, so again, multi-layered epithelium. Strata, stratosphere, stratum. In fact, it could also be used as a suffix. For example, substrate. When you think of the stuff that we put below, like in the tarantula housing that we have, the substrate is the stuff that goes below substrate. So that's the material that goes below something, or in our case, multi-layered. And then we have suffixes like site. So site will be on the right-hand side there. That is referring to anything in the cell. Now, you also see it as cyto. So words that you'll be familiar with, like we use in biology, cytosome, cytochrome, cytogenesis, cytoplasm. Okay, if you remember all those cell biology terms. Okay, osteocyte. So again, you know the word osteo, so this is referring to a cell in the bones. Okay, this is a bone cell, or a cell that makes bone. And then we have glia. This is a anything referring to a glue substance, a substance, not glue necessarily, but a substance that glues things together, that puts things together, keeps them together, that helps in the structure. So you have a nervous tissue in the back, you have the neuroglia. Okay, if you remember that, that's the dark purple cells that you see scattered about the neuron there. And these are aiding in maintaining the structure of a neuron, neuroglia. So glia referring to keeping it together. Neuro is a prefix that we'll use again. Neuro referring to the fact that it's with the nervous system. Okay, well that does it for this chapter with the terms that you'll see in this chapter. So I hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching and good luck in your studying.